Hi! Welcome back to Happily Booked, the bookcast where two kindred spirits believe that the pursuit of happiness is the same thing as reading a good book and being able to talk about it. Thanks. We're your hostesses, Beck and
Brooke.
That never gets old. Yeah, okay, here we are. We just recorded the normal episode. Sorry. Gotta move around.
Yes.
And now we're recording our spoiler-filled. So many spoilers. Okay? Probably, at least. For Station 11.
Yeah, so
by
if you
Emily.
don't want to hear any spoilers,
Yeah.
don't watch this one.
Keep walking. Okay? By Emily St. John Mandel. So, what I was actually going to do pre-pregnancy, or pre-pregnancy symptoms, was go back and look at all of my sticky notes and, like, write down things I wanted to talk about. That never happened. But I do have my book. Okay? Smile. And I do have my sticky notes. So we're going to try our best.
Yes.
Okay? And Becky was like, let's see if I remember this book.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, you know,
some
details.
They slip out of your mind. That's why sometimes they stay a little bit better when I do things like this. Because, you know, once you write things down, it helps stick in your memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, even that, though, it's been 2 weeks now. So it's like, man, I don't know. We'll see. So there's no structure to this episode other than talking about Station 11. So wish us luck. I hope you enjoy. Let's just try to dive right in, I guess. Initial thoughts, I guess, Becky.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad book.
It is a very, very sad book. It's very just point blank depressing at some points.
I do think that it was very well written.
Oh, yeah.
Very well written, because I feel like if I had written this book, it would have been bonkers. It would not have been well put together like that.
I don't know what it is about her writing. It's just, like, beautiful.
Like, how did you keep all these things straight?
Yes.
Like, she did such a good job.
Fantastic. And like, every wording was perfect, too. You know, every single wording for whatever was happening, what the characters were thinking, whatever. It was just, like, perfect.
Yes.
For whatever scene it was in. And also, it was just beautifully written.
Yeah.
Like, it was just amazing. It's still probably, like, the most beautifully written book I think I've read.
Yeah.
So far. There have been a couple other good ones. And I'm very biased, of course, because it's pandemic fiction.
Yeah.
So it's like, those are really my favorite. And the other books that I am thinking of that might have really good, fantastic, amazing, beautiful writing, or at least writing that would, like, really impact you and move you, is also pandemic fiction. So, biased about it. I am. I am not sorry for it, though, either. So, yeah, this is my third time reading it, as I've mentioned many times now, I think. And it just, like, how did it get better? How did it get better?
One thing that was interesting, like, it happened right off the bat.
Yeah.
First of all, the pandemic is already in full swing. People just don't realize it yet.
And that is so unsettling, isn't that?
Yes.
It's so unsettling.
Yes. And the first death that happens that's detailed has nothing to do with the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's a heart attack. I kept waiting for that to be like a plot twist that it was in fact the pandemic, but and he actually is the life that all the other lives kind of revolve around.
Right. And
that's very interesting.
It's amazing how they're all connected in such a weird, not weird, but like some it feels subtle and some it feels more impactful. But like they're all tied together in this crazy way. And it makes you think about how, like, we're all human, you know? It just really does. Like, and, like, everything we do, whether we realize it or not, it does impact everybody else in our lives. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it blows my freaking mind. Like the time travel with Spain. Sorry, that was last episode. It really does. Like, it's amazing how these characters are connected. And I have said this also, most of her books, at least the ones I have read, I guess I should say, all are sort of similar in that way. Like, these characters are all connected through whatever is going on in their lives. And it might be a subtle connection. It might be something more obvious, whatever. So I think you would like the rest of her books. I really shouldn't say the rest of her books, because there's still 3. I haven't 4, because she's coming out with a new one. And sometime near the end of this year. That I haven't read. But I plan to. At some point. We'll see. Maybe it's just what I need. Is to read another one of her books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to, like, dig in, I guess, if I can't. Hello?
Oh, we didn't do a quote. Do you want to do a quote?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So many random notes. Well, do you remember if this is pronounced Hua? Hua? It's like very near the beginning, so like I want to say Hua.
I don't remember. Hua, maybe. I don't remember.
Hua.
What did I listen to this on?
Probably Audible. Which is a great, if you're gonna like also, if you're only into audiobooks, this is a great audiobook to listen to. The narrations are really, really well done. And I still feel like it makes you feel like you're in the story. Which I feel like sometimes there's a disconnect. Like, I don't feel quite as immersed if I'm listening to an audiobook versus reading it with my eyes. But I think this one was really well done. That was the second way I read this book. I physically read it the first time, this exact copy, and then I listened to it on Audible because I had Audible at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna read it.
You're right. I read it on Audible. You said that's early on.
Yeah, it's like chapter 3.
Let's go to chapter 3.
I just want to say it right, you know?
Yeah.
For once in my life, I just want to say it right.
Let the cool light of the greenhouse draw him in like a beacon. Snowdrifts halfway to his knees by now. The childhood pleasure of being the first to leave footprints. When he looked in, he was soothed by the interior paradise. Tropical flowers blurred by fogged glass. Paul and a bartender, and that was just the past dozen years. Frank lived in a glass tower on the south edge of the city, overlooking the lake. Jeevan left the
oh yeah, that's right here.
On the sidewalk. He moaned, right in her stage makeup.
So skip forward just a teeny bit.
Now, the theater closed up and darkened a few blocks to the south. The streetcar stopped fully to establish himself as a wedding photographer, and then Jeevan had followed another friend to Los Angeles to take pictures of actors. A stress-related situation, you know that. Okay, you've heard of the Georgia flu?
Nah.
Sure, Jeevan said. You know I try to follow the news.
You found it.
The exhaustion in Hua's voice.
Hua.
Oh, it was Hua. Okay.
Yeah.
This one's
Hua.
just...
That's in detail research, people. So, okay, I'm going to read this quote now. If it had been anyone other than Hua, Jeevan wouldn't have believed it. But he had never known a man with a greater gift for understatement. If Hua said there was an epidemic, then epidemic wasn't a strong enough word. Jeevan was crushed by a sudden certainty. I can't say that word, can I? That this was it. That this illness Hua was describing was going to be the divide between a before and an after, a line drawn through his life.
Jeevan was correct.
Jeevan was correct. I love the beginning of this book. This is like one of my most favorite beginnings of a book ever. And I think it has to do with her writing. because like you just start off with him with Arthur Leander on the stage performing King Lear, and you can just like I just imagine it like it's dark. There's not much on the stage. I think a few pillars, but there's fake snow coming down with like a blue light behind it, and like you really feel like you're there, and like it's perfect because then it's like he also then dies right there on stage, and it's just like a beautiful setup, which sounds kind of weird to say, but a beautiful setup for like his death. And it's just like amazing. I love the opening of this book. And even Lexi when she read it, she was like, wow. Right. What an opening. Like first page, I think he's dead. Like it's crazy. Maybe the second page, literally.
And Jeevan is struggling to try to get to him and save him, and people are trying to keep him off the stage.
Which is crazy to me, because I mean, okay, you're not actually watching the play then? You're not seeing what's actually happening to him? And he's falling onto the ground. And yeah, Jeevan's trying to jump up and go save him, and they're like, no, he's just some crazy fan. Let's hold him back. Some crazy fan of Arthur Leander. Okay. And then he ends up struggling with this kind of guilt a little bit later on. I mean, about the whole situation with Arthur, but then there's guilt about like his girlfriend that was there who left him. Yeah. He was up there trying to save someone's life, and she just like, I had a headache. I went home. Right. Break up with her?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he sort of inevitably broke that off. But then
he never tried to save her, so.
Yeah. Well, he did. He tried to call her, but you know.
But I mean, like he didn't. He was already leave his brother's apartment to go get her.
I mean, I don't blame him.
I don't think any of us were sad about that.
I think at the time, if she was alive, she should have answered the phone.
Yeah,
because the phone lines were still going. Right. You know, like phone lines, the phone signals were still going. She could have answered if she was alive, and it wasn't quite. I mean, it was pretty dramatic already then that the Georgia flu was already there. First time when I read this, I was like, Georgia flu? Like Georgia?
Right.
Why are we naming it? Did it start in Georgia? Oh my God. No, it's
wrong Georgia.
Yeah. So
it did crack me up that Jeevan kept going in there and buying like basketfuls.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, and you're leaving them out in the snow, and I'm thinking, I mean, a homeless person could come by and think they hit the jackpot. Like, what are you doing? Just leaving your... And how did you get all those buggies to your brother's apartment?
I think it was only like a block or two away. I think.
Can you imagine all the effort he had to put into moving all those baskets?
Yeah, in the snow. In a place that gets a lot of snow. Like, not just a little bit of snow. And yeah, I was like... And you just walked down the street from where this big play was, where this big actor was in this play, and there's not a lot of people wandering around.
I mean, he did. I feel like he maxed out his credit card or something, but not that it matters. Right. Not that it matters, but at least he got all that before the looting probably started.
Yeah, yeah, and and then I think he feels some sort of guilt towards for his brother Frank.
He did. Yeah. But Frank was a grown man, and he made his own decision.
That is true. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated your decision, Frank.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I know he was in a wheelchair, but I feel like we could have made a better decision.
Yeah. I do too.
For his brother's sake. I mean...
Yeah.
You know, I think he would have been fine in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was up high. Maybe he was thinking, well, how are you going to get me out of here? And then how...
Yeah, and I think that was probably the first thing. Like, okay, well, he's going to have to carry him down all the stairs. Because it was like the 60th floor or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was high up.
Something so crazy.
Yeah.
So, but, like, personally, I would have been like, I mean... We're going to try.
Right, I would have done anything there's still I could to hope. Save my sibling.
Yeah, we're going to do fine.
Right.
We're going to do fine. So that was awful. That was like one of the first few awful things. Yeah. I mean, well, actually, I don't even know if you get to that point until a little bit later on, to where he actually does do what he does. But yeah. Oh, I even made a note. I was like, this was literally Jeevan's last interaction with Kirsten. HBO. It was literally on page 9 of the story.
Kirsten's the little girl, right?
Yes, the little girl who ends up being a pivotal character.
Yes.
But like she's in the traveling symphony.
Right.
And I don't remember if she plays an instrument, but she's in the plays.
No, she's just an actress. She does not play an instrument.
And
the girl who read the book on Audible, her name is Kirsten.
I think I probably knew that. Like, I think I noticed that when I listened to it years ago now. That's funny, though.
Yeah, I like that.
It's like they did that on purpose. Yeah. Let's see. I love this book. Oh, there was some things where I thought this is so unsettling and scary. Mm-hmm. Like with how it's written out. It even made me think about The Stand. Mm-hmm. Because of how it was written. Like, there's a lot of like, let me see if I not that exactly. But like when in their talking about Arthur's relatives, like it's a bunch of people, not a bunch, like 5 people at the bar. Still, everyone's gone, and they're trying to figure out who to call, whatever. And at the very end of that chapter, it tells you, I don't remember exactly. I'm just gonna guess. Like the bartender is the one who lives the longest out of the rest of them, and like it only takes like 2 weeks, and like everybody in that room is dead.
Right.
And like that kind of writing is insane.
It was.
And so unsettling. Yes. But there's a lot of that in The Stand, too. And I'm like, it's kind of like big-headed of me to think for Stephen King that she took inspiration from The Stand, but maybe. Yeah. You know, maybe.
She might have.
She might have. Maybe.
Some of the stuff that was unsettling to me was just, like, we're 20 years, I think, past the Georgia flu, right?
Yeah.
Past the pandemic. That's the word I was looking for. But they still, as they travel, come upon death from the Georgia flu.
Right.
And it's like really sad that so many people died alone.
Oh, I know.
And were not buried.
Yeah.
And that's so sad.
What really gets me in that is the children that you think about.
Yeah.
When they're like when they found one of the houses that they were going through, and Kirsten's best buddy, who's also in the orchestra, his name is August. Every time they find a body, he goes and does like a prayer.
Yeah.
He doesn't do like a traditional like a prayer in Christianity. Right. Sorry. But he just like talks to them and stuff. And that's like really heartbreaking. But like they find kids in their own bed, and their parents are all in there, but everyone's tucked in. Everyone is like, they all just like knew that was how it was going to go.
I mean, when I read that particular scene, that made me so sad.
I know. I'm like, I don't even know if I can keep talking about it.
I was like, what if my children were dying, but I was also dying, so I couldn't get to them?
Well, like, what Kirsten thinks is like, why weren't the children in the bed with them?
Well, maybe the parents got sick first.
Maybe. And they didn't want to risk it. Oh, I hate it. That's one of the most depressing things in this whole friggin' book.
And you can't get to your children to take care of them.
I know. Oh, man. I hate that. Whose idea was this?
I think it was your idea.
Yeah, stupid me. Yeah. So in their caravan, their little caravan, the little traveling symphony thing.
Yeah.
I love that it was it was a truck. Like, they use trucks and cars, but, like, they strip everything out that makes it heavy. And they even like get like wooden wheels and stuff.
Yes.
And I'm like, that would be so fascinating for me to see.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool, like to take the entire engine out, basically. You don't need it. And take all of the other unnecessary factors out. I think they leave the doors. I don't remember. They probably leave the windows if they're still intact. And that's crazy. And like horses pull those.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like, it's almost like a futuristic, horse-drawn carriage, but in a weird way, it's like dystopian. Like, it's so interesting to me. Yeah. I love that. There was a lot of things I highlighted in here. I always forgot that there was 2 copies of Station 11.
Really?
It wasn't just the first copy. I'm sorry, the first volume. Because there was Dr. 11, Volume 1, Number 1, Station 11, which is...
Right.
And then there was Dr. 11, Volume 1, Number 2, The Pursuit. And, like, that's all she ever published. Mm-hmm. And which would drive me absolutely bonkers in this world if I found those, fell in love with them, and then, like, you could literally never have access to the rest of them ever again. Right.
Well, and they didn't find those, though. She was gifted those.
Yeah.
And that's how I finally knew that I was correct about what I thought. But I don't remember when I first had the thought about, I can't remember his name, the cult leader.
Oh, Tyler.
I knew...
I'm amazing.
I knew he was the son of Arthur.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what made me think that initially. But later when he starts talking about the comic, which is way later in the book, I said, I knew it.
Yeah, I was smart. I got it. I don't remember when I first read it how I figured it out, but I do think it was like pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I want to say it's when they describe him with the blonde hair and everything.
I think it was the blonde hair.
And then you like your first description of the cult leader.
Oh, and he has a dog with the name.
And the dog.
Lou?
I think it was probably the dog. Luli.
Luli, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the dog that really did it for me too. The blonde hair and the dog. Ugh. Man. I tried to draw the little airport the cult airport symbol.
Yeah.
Because he was from the airport that they're going to.
Right.
But it's crazy to think about how we're in such a day and age where we can just communicate so quickly and so easily. And like to think, I mean, even back in the day, but like to think about something like this where we had all of this communication and then it was stripped away.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you figure anything out? It's like, that's why you travel in groups. Like, no, you don't leave me to go somewhere because I'm just supposed to not know whatever happens to you.
Right.
Like, it's so crazy.
And it's interesting to see that Kirsten and Tyler are the 2 that we met as children in the pandemic, and they are adults now. And it's interesting to see the different effects that the pandemic had on them.
Yeah.
And part of Tyler's problem, I think, was his weird, crazy mom.
Yes, I think it was his mom.
Who was always a little strange, but I think the pandemic really,
knocked something loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kirsten still... I mean, she's still like a normal person. Like, she's still like... She can be social, and like, they all have like, your polite niceties still. Like, you know what to do, what not to do. You still know that you talk polite to people and you don't just take. Sorry. But then Tyler, on the other hand, they grew up in a little civilization, but in an airport. Which I don't look at airports the same ever again, by the way. Like, ever since I first read this book, all I can think about when we go to an airport is, like, how it would be as a living situation. And so, But, like, in a small community that was still figuring stuff out because, once again, their communication got snatched away, and there's people from all over the world who ended up trapped in this little airport. Mm-hmm. And his mom's there. Yes, I think she became a little unhinged after the pandemic. But then she didn't, like... I don't feel like she put the effort forth to really teach him.
Yeah.
I think that she just let him get ideas and just run with it.
Yeah.
And, like... Oh, my gosh. I don't remember what it was called exactly, because... fake airline names in the book, but like a France Air, something like that. Mm-hmm. That plane that comes in and nobody gets off.
Yeah,
like the doors are they stay sealed. It parked far away.
Yes.
Imagine how awful that must have been.
Right.
How excruciatingly horrible that was probably for the people on the plane.
Also imagine you're not sick and you can't get off the plane because everyone else is. Right. And then you watch everyone die.
And that panic.
And you know you're going to die.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I know. And it's... that plane in the book is, like, so creepy to me.
Because it's still sitting out there?
Because it's just... It's just... people are just entombed in it.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to it, except Tyler, you little freak. And so... and he's over there talking to the plane.
Yeah.
Reading from the Bible to the plane. Freaking me out. But, you know, even if he's caught doing something that's pretty unsettling, like just even reading the Bible to the plane, to the dead people on the plane, if, like, Elizabeth then went out there to her son and tried to talk and explain things, he could have ended up differently. You know what I mean? Like, we could have turned that from creepy to, like, a lesson.
Right.
That plane scares the mess out of me, though. Like, it's just the horror of being trapped in it. And then, from everybody else's perspective...
knowing that there are
people dying and dead, and that sacrifice, and then, like, the ghost stories that would come from it, which did come from it at some point. Like, creepy. I always imagine the airport... like, no bigger than, like, the Charleston airport or the Raleigh airport. Something pretty small. Yeah. They're not, like, super tiny, but they're not
Atlanta.
Not by any means. They're like, you can see the end of the airport. Right. So it's like, I always imagine it about that size, maybe. And every time if I fly to see Lexi, or if we go up to see Clint and Chelsea... I think about Station 11 way more than you might think I do. And it's all in relation to, like, my favorite part of the whole novel is, like, when they're living in the airport. Crazy.
And that was one of the... I think I was trying to remember what I said was, like, a crazy twist that I didn't really see coming. And it wasn't really crazy.
It might have been crazy to you.
But I just never realized that Arthur's friend, who's like an even more important character.
Oh my gosh.
Because he helps all the people at the airport.
Can't think of his name.
I never saw it coming that he was gay.
I know.
There were no signs.
There were no signs.
But when he starts reminiscing about, like, dancing with Arthur, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, so was Arthur also gay or, like, bi?
Right.
Sexual?
And, like,
and
maybe that's why it didn't work out with his wives.
Right.
You know?
And, well...
I want to say that. Okay.
I feel like...
I cannot think of his name.
I feel like the reason that it didn't work out with his wives could be because he was bisexual.
But it was because of Arthur.
But it was because
I don't think it had anything to do with his sexual orientation.
I thought he was God's gift.
Clark. Sorry.
Clark.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Clark was such a good guy. I really liked his character.
Yeah.
And he really, I think, saved all those people at the airport.
Yes, I do too.
But yeah, Arthur just couldn't.
It's like
he couldn't stay faithful. Like he lured all these women to himself.
Yeah. Like he thought he was like this big womanizer.
Yeah.
And
well, he just cared about himself.
Once something got so, like, you can maybe just say mundane, he got bored with it.
Yeah.
And had to get the newest model. So, right. Oh man, the dinner party. The dinner party. Wild. I love Miranda's character. And yes. Every time I read the book, I'm like, maybe she actually lives. But, of course, she does not.
Right, no, that dies. Part was so sad, too.
Very sad. And her death scene is also, I think, written very beautifully. Like, ends up lying. I actually can't remember now if she lies on the actual sand or, like, one of those beds that's out on some, like,
I don't remember
resorts. Either. I think she ended up being on a bed. But it's like a sunset, and she's watching the ship lights. Because she's in like the cargo ship business, and so there was something about that always gave her some kind of happiness and joy. So she was looking at the cargo ship lights, and not really understanding what's happening to her all of a sudden so quickly, and like realizing there's nobody else around, realizing she's not on her home continent, like. This is enough to make me never leave the continent.
Don't get on a plane.
I don't want to be that separated from my family. Oh my gosh. And she just dies beautifully. And I think she died thinking about Station 11.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't remember exactly where it is, but it was just her scene, and Arthur's was just like so well written. I made a funny note. I highlighted where it mentions HBO, and I thought that was funny because HBO did the adaptation, and
that wasn't any good.
It was not. It was not good.
Sorry,
it was
HBO.
Not a good adaptation. Probably a perfectly fine TV show, but not a good adaptation of this book.
When it says loosely based, they meant very
loosely based. Oh, I remember being so mad immediately when Jeevan and Kirsten, like, she goes to Frank's apartment. Like, they, like, raise her.
Oh, yeah, that didn't happen. Her brother actually raised her.
Right.
And then he died, and she cannot remember what happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
How do you feel about all of the, like, open-ended, you never get answers to some things?
Yeah, I don't like that. I love answers. Likey questions.
Yeah. I always feel conflicted about those things, because it's like, that's awful. You don't remember what happened to your brother, and who wasn't that much older than you, but he took care of you, and he knew whatever mystery incident happened to her that traumatized her. He knew what it was, but then wouldn't tell her what happened. And he was like, you don't want to know.
Right.
You don't want to remember what happened. So, and then, like, he dies, and she doesn't even remember how he died. She just remembers the symphony coming through town, I think, the town she was in, and thankfully just taking her in.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh.
I also liked just something kind of mundane, really, that is mentioned as just matter of fact. But it's interesting because there's no health care. Right. There's no dental care. And it talks about her not having a couple of teeth or losing teeth. And I thought, yeah, that would happen.
That would be kind of awful.
Yeah, it would.
It's like nothing
Especially at her age. She's only, 25, 30?
Yeah, I think like mid-20s.
Yeah, she's not that old.
Yeah. If nothing else makes you want to brush your teeth, this should make you want to brush your teeth. Every day. A couple times a day. And floss. I mean, I wouldn't be able to just travel endlessly because I would want to, like, hoard a bunch of stuff. Like, I would hoard toothpaste, and floss, and toilet paper would probably be long gone by now. But clean rags.
It made me think, I need to really up my game on knowing natural things.
Yeah, right? Like, it makes you... Yeah, I need to know what plants will heal this, and like...
And if you don't know how to hunt,
you better get with it.
And without a gun, because how long are you going to have bullets?
Yeah. And I know there are still guns around, but of course ammunition was dwindling unless, some civilization learns how to make it. Mm-hmm. But,
if you happen to have a musket, you can make your own bullets for those. My dad used to have a musket, and he would make his own bullets.
Nice.
And I suppose, if you had all the right ingredients, you can make bullets for modern day rifles. But I would imagine,
I don't know what goes into it, but the correct molds and
I would imagine that that's not quite as easy as making
probably not
a musket ball,
right? But yeah, they have, even this group has a few guns, but I think they only try to use it for hunting, and then even that some of them have bow and arrows and stuff, which that would end up being my weapon of choice.
Yeah.
So without a gun, that would be my weapon of choice in this kind of situation, or a zombie apocalypse. So if we're going to get into that. Yeah. Oh, when Kirsten and August found the untouched house, I was like, I would live here. That'd be it. I'd live here. Because it was they can't really see the driveway very well. And I think they almost didn't even know there was a driveway until they just sort of, went further. But then, she mentions specifically that the doors are locked. Mm-hmm. And it's how bizarre. You lived in a world where you left your house, locked your doors, and came back. But these people never came back. They're even their bodies weren't there.
Right.
I don't think. I could be wrong. But yeah, they go in the house, and it's just everything looks like if we were to make a diorama of some old age living situation. It's untouched, how it's set up, and the remotes were on the coffee table a certain way, and Kirsten's this is unreal. And I think even she's if we had more time, if we didn't have to get back to the symphony, I'd actually want to really look around even more.
I think that was the time when she also was thinking about how she barely remembers what a refrigerator light looks like.
Yeah. The littlest things. Crazy.
And imagine that at this point, there are adults who don't remember refrigerator lights.
Yeah.
Or refrigerators.
Yeah. Or a TV screen.
Yeah.
And I remember there's something that they'll end up asking her about, because she remembers when she was a kid. She remembers she flew on a plane when she was a kid. She remembers that she saw, for a second I was I did hit record, right?
Yeah.
I did.
Imagine.
That would be awful. She saw a computer screen, but she doesn't remember the internet, and when people are how do you not remember the internet, but you saw a computer screen? And she's I don't know. It's not the same. I don't know.
I was a kid. Leave me alone.
Yeah, how am I supposed to know that? How do you grasp the vastness of the internet?
Right. And she does remember Arthur.
Yeah.
And she remembers that he gave her those comics. Mm-hmm. And anytime she sees anything about him, she keeps it because she remembers him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's at first I thought it was because it was a connection to maybe the comic Station 11, or maybe because she liked Arthur. And I think she did sort of like Arthur, they were friends. He was nice to her.
Yeah.
But now, having read it a couple more times, I'm yeah, it's more because it's something she can actually grasp and remember in her past, just before the end of the world.
Also, the pandemic may have been really good for her because she was kind of a brat.
Yeah.
A little bit. Which you don't get in the first part, but then, when there's other stories that are told, and they're there was this little girl there, and blah, 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 and they tell about Kirsten, and you're she was a little brat.
Yeah, you're being a little rude.
And Arthur had tried to tell her mom, you don't need to let her be in this world. This is not a good world for her to be in. And, honestly, it might have been the best thing for her.
Yeah.
And she still does acting, but it's a different environment totally from what she was in before.
Yeah.
And she's just a different person because everyone's a different person from who they used to be or whatever. So it might have been the best thing for her. She might have grown up to be a really wonderful person.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Tyler being a cult leader was nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, of course there's going to be a cult at some point in an end of the world kind of.
Listen, there's cults in the not end of the world.
I know. So, like, of course there would be. And it's sad that it happened to him.
Yes.
And then it's sad what happens to people who interact with him and come cross his path.
Yes.
But it's like, it's sad that he takes his reasoning from the Bible.
Yes.
And from Station 11, and from the comics. Because he's like the only other person who ever read the comics.
Yeah.
And that's another crazy connection. I mean, yeah, you do see both of them as children and then how they're different as adults. I love that you said that. But, like, then you think about who else has actually read these comics. Just them, really.
Right.
Like, and how those impacted them differently.
Right. And that's actually what saves her life.
Yeah.
Because she realizes he's quoting from the comics.
Yeah.
What a strange mix to get your religion from, to mix the Bible with a
like a sci-fi comic.
Yeah, like a sci-fi comic.
Yeah.
Very strange combo there.
That's where we go back to Elizabeth not trying hard enough to teach her child. Oh my gosh, sorry. Just going back to how a lot of characters' lives, they leave the airport, they leave their last interaction, however it comes, and you never see them again. Tyler and Elizabeth end up leaving the airport because basically the same cult came by the airport, stayed, everybody was uneasy about it except maybe a couple people and then those two. But then they leave with them, and then of course you figure out that Tyler ends up being the leader of the cult, however that comes to be. And he's nuts. Sorry, I just keep hitting the microphone. That
probably also didn't really help him.
Yeah.
Because now you're with a bunch of crazy people.
But then you don't ever know what happens to his mother.
Yeah.
Ever. Nuts. And, like, that's the woman Arthur left Miranda for. So it's like... Right. Oh, and then his third ex-wife, you don't like, ever hear about her.
Right, you don't.
She's like...
He's thinking about leaving her for Tanya.
Yeah. Yes, that was her. Good job. Because you only ever, like, see Tanya. I mean, I think you see her maybe a few more times throughout the story where she's interacting with Arthur.
Right, I was going to say, but I think it's only in flashbacks, like other people remembering things.
Yeah.
You never see her in the now.
He's just leaving everybody for the next woman that comes along. So, but, I am now realizing literally today in this episode that, like, my favorite chunk of the book is, like, mainly when they're in the airport. Not even Kirsten. When you think about it, she's, like, never in the airport in the book that you read.
At the very end.
Yeah. Oh, my. Sorry. But, like, when there's, like, a couple of pilots still at the airport. And they're like, okay, we're going to fly... There's a couple, like, smaller jets, and I think one or two fly somewhere to see what's going on, whatever. But then they never come back.
Well, and I don't think they intended to come back. They just were going to go see
what was going on.
That was supposed to be their final destination, and maybe, I don't think it says, but maybe that's where they were from.
Yeah.
So they wanted to go home.
Yeah. The last big plane that leaves, I remember that he's like, look, free flight, that's still fueled up. Like, we had to divert to come here. We still have all of our fuel. We're going to LA. That is an insane place for me.
That's what I thought, too.
Absolutely not.
Why would you go there? Imagine what they found when they got there.
Awful. That would have been, I'm so sorry if you're from LA. But, like, that's a big city.
Yeah.
And, like, that is Absolutely not.
The violence, just because of the number of people that are there.
And you're just hoping and praying the runway's clear.
Yeah.
For you to land.
Well, and knowing that they found cars just piled up on the road from trying to flee. Imagine the freeway in LA.
Yeah. Had to have been insane. But it was such a, if I can't find it quick enough, but like the scene where they're watching him leave with all of these people, and they're most of the people who get on that plane are actually from Asia. And they're like, this is the closest I can get to maybe getting back to my family, so we're gonna go for it. And like that in itself is like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But like Jeevan is like watching them leave, and it had felt so long. It had only been, I think, a couple of weeks, maybe even like 2 months or something since like everything went down. Maybe a little longer, but not like a year or anything. And it's like, it scares everybody when they turn the plane on. You know, like they're like, oh my gosh, you know? And then he's just like astounded by like the amazing feat of flight, first of all, because he's like, oh my gosh, we used to be able to just get on a plane and go somewhere, anywhere. We used to be able to just go anywhere. And at the end of that chapter, it actually like brings him to tears. It's trying to bring me to tears.
Isn't there at the very end of the book, like Clark is looking at the city lights that are off? Don't they also have like see a plane?
I don't remember. Somebody sees a plane at some point. I think it is Clark and his like new family. Clark? Jeevan and his new family.
Oh, sorry. Maybe it is Jeevan.
Jeevan's the one that ends up in Virginia. And, you know, from the beginning, whatever. But he ends up, never sees Kirsten again.
Right. So. I really wish that they had he had made it to the airport too. Because I feel like that would have been just like, completeness for me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
I keep doing it too. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I know somebody does see a plane. And somebody sees a helicopter. Oh, and I think the airport group ends up seeing a helicopter, or maybe even Kirsten. I don't remember who sees a helicopter. I know somebody does, though. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think you're right. Somebody does end up seeing a plane. And it almost makes you wonder if it's like them leaving. Mm-hmm. But then if you think about where that's at, it's probably not. But
it's just so neat at the end. It's like people are starting to rebuild. Like actually... Not that they haven't been, like, rebuilding their lives the whole time. Yeah. But someone has figured out electricity again.
Right. Isn't that, like, beautifully hopeful? This stupid book. Becky's crying over electricity. Yeah. I almost cried over Clark crying that somebody was in a plane flying away. Not because they were leaving, but like just the idea, like this is the life they left behind. Mm-hmm. That they didn't mean to leave behind. They didn't want to leave behind. Oh, what a stupid book. Yeah. Those always got me. The scenes where they were flying away, I was like, and you never know what happens to them. No. You never know. They never come back. And that last flight that I'm talking about, even the people at the airport really thought there was hope to it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, after a while, they all just sort of like, kind of come to the conclusion that he's not coming back. Because I think he was trying to come, that last one, I think he was trying to come back. Because I think he had said something like, we're going to go, and if it's good, I'm going to come back. Or maybe that was like their original first flight. Because there was like, there was 2, maybe 3 flights. Uh-huh. But it's just like, they go and they risk everything. Like, what?
I mean, maybe...
There's so many things that could have happened.
Maybe they're living out their life in L.A.
Maybe.
In the airport.
And maybe everything's fine.
That airport's bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And I love Luli. I know I mentioned that. I love Luli as basically a character, even though there's like 3 Lulis. Yeah. But I love that she, at the horrible... crazy interaction at the end where, not the end, but when she gets away from Tyler, when Tyler is shot, and that poor kid then does himself in.
I did not like that.
I know. It was like, you could have come with us. You didn't have...
Nobody's putting you in jail. Like, no, that was necessary.
Yeah, like, I hate that. But Luli then takes a liking to Kirsten. Mm-hmm. It was just like, oh, that's sweet.
She was a more decent person.
Yeah. And I'm sure Kirsten's like, this is kind of surreal in a way, because it's like her name is Luli. Mm-hmm. Oh, and things aren't even answered for Kirsten.
Yeah.
She has no idea why Tyler even had, like, the comic book.
Or a dog named Luli.
Yeah. I don't even know if she ends up realizing that that's Arthur's son. I don't think she does.
Probably doesn't.
And it's like, that is just...
I just had the same thought, like, right before you said that. I was like,
she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know. Oh, man. No. I love when they started, back in the airport, when they started the Museum of Civilization.
Yes.
And it all sort of technically started, even though they didn't mean for it to then and there, it started when that guy was like, because there was a Mexican restaurant in the airport, and they were like, oh, this food's going to go bad. Like, we need to eat it. Mm-hmm. And people are like, but what if somebody comes and we get in trouble for eating the food? And he's
so
like,
he pays for it.
I'm going to put my Amex right here on the counter. They can charge me all they want. Will that make you feel better? But it stays there on the counter for a long time. And then that poor girl who, I don't remember, I think it was like antidepressants she needed.
Yes.
I think. And oh my gosh, she ends up just going into the woods, and like nobody finds her ever again, because like
they had gone and ransacked cars hoping to find something that would help her.
Yeah. And they find her ID, and they leave the ID on the counter.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was antidepressants or if she was bipolar. I think it does tell.
It does say it. I just don't remember which one. And there was one point, I think somebody needed asthma medication. Mm-hmm. And like a similar thing. I don't think they ever got it. Mm-hmm. And that's like, count your blessings. Okay? Yeah. Modern medicine and stuff, count your blessings.
Yeah.
Because if you are ill in some way and need that.
Well, even if you don't have modern medicine, if you understand how natural things work,
yeah, see,
they could have probably...
This goes back around to what Becky was saying.
They probably would have been okay had they been able to access some kind of understanding of natural workings, you know, and maybe not for the asthma, but because it's a little hard to get something in your lungs.
Unless you ingest it, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know. But got
a breathalyzer somewhere.
Breathalyzer?
Yeah, a breathalyzer for asthma, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
That's a test if you're drunk. It's a nebulizer. I think
that's so funny. I thought it was a breathalyzer.
Or an inhaler. The inhaler is the one you pump. Yeah. A nebulizer you put over your mouth.
Luckily, I have not had to deal with this.
But a breathalyzer is what the police make you breathe into. You can't do that if you have asthma.
Luckily, I've not really had that problem either. You know what I'm saying?
Me either. I've just watched Cops.
Yeah. And then also you saying, like, if they had access to, like, learning about alternate remedies in any way, it's like they're stuck in this airport. Well, stuck is, like, loosely used.
Yeah, I mean, they could leave, but where are they going to go?
Right. But, like, they're scared to leave. And it's like, I'm sure there's a library somewhere, but they're scared to go look.
Because they don't know what's happening.
Right. And, I mean, probably a good thing at first. I mean, at first, when there's any kind of catastrophe, people go bonkers.
Yes.
So, like, probably okay they didn't leave right away.
She didn't write about it, but there were probably a lot of people that would have been, like, shooting people. Because I want that.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff would have definitely happened. And, you know, they come across these people when they leave the Deborah by the water. I don't remember what it was called.
Something like that. The civilization. The town.
When they leave the town and because Tyler's got them scared half to death, and they come across this dad and his kids, and he's got a gun, and he's not like that friendly, but I think he came from the same place where Tyler was. I wonder what happened when they came across him. He probably stayed hid. Yeah. But anyway, he had a gun and he wasn't gonna be afraid to use it, you know, and that's what you probably would encounter in a lot of different places is people with guns to protect themselves. But having seen the violence that they would have seen, they would be very, it would be unlikely for them to trust just random people coming up. Yeah. So you would be lucky if you didn't get shot. Truly.
I read The Dog Stars by Peter Heller, which is a similar story. A virus takes everyone out and whatever. But every time this man, who actually flew a plane, he kept his runway clear, and it was like a Cessna plane, so he would go and fly and try to find people. But almost every single time he ever interacted with anybody, they would just shoot. Wouldn't even talk whatsoever. They just shoot. And it's like, crazy. What kind of, interactions have you had to make you,
Who hurt you?
Yeah. We can maybe all get along, Oh, speaking of all getting along and not having to shoot right away. In the airport, a man ends up raping a girl. Yeah. And they're like, they don't kill him. I don't think any of them really have a gun or anything at that point. It was so early on.
And they don't have jail.
Yeah. But they're like, I don't remember if they beat him up at all, but then they exile him. They're like, you've got to leave and you cannot come back. Yeah. And he's crying and stuff. Oh, I'm going to die out there. Well, you should have thought about that. You should have thought about that before you.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, you better be glad I don't have a gun. You moron! You better chances out there than in here, bud. Get out.
And if you happen to find a civilization before you die, maybe think about what you do in the next town.
Yeah, think about what got you into this situation. You idiot. Yeah. So it's wow, he's so scared to be exiled. Which, but really?
Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah, you messed up, AA Ron. So, Miranda actually meets Kirsten. I said Kirsten doesn't remember this interaction. But it's when she comes back to the theater and I don't remember exactly why. It may have been not divorce papers. I think it was his dad died or something. I don't remember. She comes to see him.
I think he wanted to see her
briefly, and I think that's when she gives back the little paperweight too. She's like, for whatever reason, I kept this, so you can have it back now. And that's how Kirsten ends up getting it. Yeah. And that's when she brings the comics, right. And he ships one copy of the comics. There's 2 copies. He ships those 2 to Tyler, and they live in Israel or something.
I think they live in Israel, yeah.
And so it's wow, that they ended up even in America, right, during this event, which is they actually came back because Arthur died, so they were coming back for his funeral and stuff. So I love those little snippets where it's that's how she gets the comics.
That's the memory that I'm talking about, where Kirsten is kind of a brat.
Yeah, because it was, unless I just left it. Oh, yeah, she comes into the room and Arthur calls her Kiki, and she asks if she can color in there because she doesn't like the other girls, the other girl actresses. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. So just before this, think Peter was the name of Kirsten's brother. And this is a snippet of when she's actually being interviewed, and they're like asking her to recall what she remembers about them like leaving the city. And hold on, everybody. I knew you pointed, and I was like, nope. This isn't enough. Hand me that. I got it. Okay. So that's when she's like talking about briefly, very briefly, you know, this little tiny snippet is a chapter. And she's like, me and Peter left the city or whatever. And I think they had to walk. Drove for a while but got trapped. And we just had to walk. But it's the same city, of course, that Jeevan and Frank are in. So then the next chapter, it talks about how, I don't remember if Frank is dead by this point, but Jeevan's looking out, and he sees two people that I think he describes as young. What? Walking out of the city.
I didn't make that connection.
And I'm like, is that supposed... it doesn't ever tell you. But I'm like, I think that's insinuating that the two people he sees are Kirsten and her brother.
Oh.
Isn't that like... Doesn't that mean something to, like, only us? Yeah. There was a little section back here that I ended up reading on the Kindle, and I feel like I didn't sticky note a lot. Yeah, it was like it was this little chunk. It doesn't matter. I sticky noted a lot. I like that, I don't remember who actually did this quote, who actually said it, but like near the beginning of like your introduction to the symphony, somebody says like, hell is other people. And I highlighted it, and throughout the book, it's mentioned like a couple more times, but they change it. They're like, hell is the absence of the people you long for. And like, hell is, you know, the loss of electricity, you know, whatever.
That one's sad.
That is very sad. But I thought that was very interesting. And when you get to this point, the people from the symphony are being like secretly kidnapped into the cult, because they have a little girl, I think, that was scared to be his next bride. Yeah, she was like 11 or something. Yeah, and so they're like, so she sneaks into like their wagons, and
they don't know she's there at
they
first.
don't know until they're suddenly like, what's this? Like they have her by the arm or whatever. And so they're like, well, we can't send her back, you know? So they just keep on trucking and hope that the cult leader's not going to come get his 11-year-old bride. And so then that's why they sneak up and they take members of the symphony. And that's originally what happens to Saeed and Dieter.
Yeah.
Dieter.
That made me so upset.
And then I think it's Dieter that dies.
Yes.
And so they end up taking another person named Olivia. But when the symphony realizes she's gone, Olivia was with somebody else just like scavenging, you know, in the forest. They always had a buddy system. You know, that's supposed to be foolproof. But these people are apparently very quiet. And he like looks up and she's just gone. And he doesn't know where she went. And they end up finding her note. It says, it's the beginning of a letter, and it says, "Dear friends, I find myself immeasurably weary, and I have gone to rest in the forest." And they're like, oh my gosh, she's committed suicide. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, no. Like, we've lost her. She's lasted all this time. I can't believe she's now going to go do this. And so they don't really realize that she's been kidnapped until you get into a chapter where I think maybe Saeed's perspective or something, and she's there with him. Mm-hmm. And, but that's actually the introduction to a play she was trying to write. Right. And I was like, no, they don't know. Because she doesn't like Shakespeare, you know? Yeah. So she's like, can we do something else? But a lot of them are arguing that, like, doing Shakespeare for our performances is actually very relevant because of the times that he lived in compared to the times we're living in now. And so they felt like it was, like, appropriate and relevant. But she's like, can we do something? Can we do Annie, you know?
But we do this 365 days a year.
Right. So he's like, well, how about you write a play? Dieter actually told her, I think, that you write a play then, and if it's good, we'll perform it. And so that was the beginning of her play, and I thought that was just like you're like panicking now because they think she's like gone and committed suicide when she hasn't. She's been kidnapped. They're not going to realize she's been kidnapped. But I don't know where it is, but Saeed ends up distracting, I think, the young boy who ends up saving Kirsten, talking to him once he sees Olivia's woken up, tied up, whatever. She ends up getting her ropes loose, I think, and to distract everybody else, he's like just talking to them about, like, well, tell me about the cult, you know. It doesn't say cult, but, you know, tell me about your situation, tell me about all of this, just to keep them talking. And I love how it was worded. I don't remember exactly how it was worded, but they insinuate these people in this cult, they're like, your people will never see us coming. We're so quiet. We've grown up this way. Like, we've grown up sneaking and stealing in the forest. Like, you'll never hear us coming. But then Olivia hears something like that, but then she sneaks off, and they never hear her leave. And she's like, you're not the only one who's grown up like this. And it was just like, bam, bam! You tell him, Olivia. I love that.
I hated how it was just so easy for Kirsten and August to get separated from
oh my gosh
everyone, and how long it took everyone to get caught back up.
Yes.
With each other.
Yeah. Nuts.
It was
upsetting.
Yeah, I was like,
with all the things.
I can't believe this is happening right now.
With all the things that just end in a vague way. Please don't let this be one of them. And I can't remember now, but I always thought that there was a moment during that Kirsten wakes up and she can't find August, so then she gets scared.
I think so.
But then when I reread it, it was like, it may have been just a moment, but I thought it had been a little bit longer.
I don't really remember.
I'm relieved because that would be so upsetting. Like, I don't want to be alone. What do you mean? This little random thing. An hour later, they reached a gas station, a low building alone by the road with a yellow seashell sign still standing. Vehicles crowded and blocking one another at the pumps, whatever. The color of melted butter, black lettering on the side. It was a Shell gas station. I like those little kind of descriptions where you can, like, kind of, you know what they're talking about. Yeah. You know? It actually reminds me, on a less serious note, of The 100, when they're like, they land conveniently in Virginia, very near the White House, and Mount Weather and stuff. And, but then the cult, in, like, the last book of that series, takes people and takes them further away to this, Pentagon-shaped building. And it's just like, the Pentagon? So, it's just fun.
What a creative name.
I know. Yeah. That series was really enjoyable, but, like, it was, like, less detailed, you know, less, I don't want to say less effort, because she put in effort. Like, it was still fun to read.
No, I just meant that we named the Pentagon the Pentagon.
Oh, yeah, that too. I mean, like, that it's, like, such an easier story to get through, because it's, like, not dense with information, description. But, yeah. That too, though. How original. Oh! Dear V. The book Dear V.
Mm-hmm. What a trash friend, by the way.
Yeah, like, come on, Victoria. Her name was Victoria, right? I think it was Victoria. So. Yeah. I mean, you know, you go through this entire book where you're like, am I supposed to like Arthur?
Yeah.
And then
it's very difficult to like him.
Then you get to a point where you're like, I don't think I'm supposed to like Arthur. He's not very likable.
No.
He's a big deal for the story overall, but like, not a nice guy, really.
Yeah.
Don't really care for him all that much. But then he, like, writes to his friend.
That's why he wanted to see Miranda. Because of this book.
Because
he wanted to tell her about it.
Yep, before she, like, saw it and stuff. Because she's in it. Because Arthur, for whatever reason, in his pompous attitude, wrote back to a friend who stopped corresponding with him from his hometown, home island, whatever, where Miranda is also conveniently from. Convenient for him. That's why he married her.
Yeah.
She knows where I'm from. So, but this Victoria character, they were like besties basically, I guess, at one point in time. Like really early, like high schoolish, I think. Mm-hmm. And they interact, you know, they send each other letters until a certain point, you know, lives get busy. Victoria, I guess, just
moves on.
Yeah, moves on. Doesn't really see a reason to keep talking to Arthur. But he uses her, like, as a diary. Mm-hmm. And is, like, spills everything. Yeah. And she never writes him back. So it's like, you're literally putting all... You don't think about what you do you?
Right.
Like, you're putting everything, all your dirty laundry, everything you feel about Miranda, and then about Elizabeth, and everything, like...
And you don't even know that your friend is getting these letters because they're not responding.
Yeah. So, like, you don't know what's actually... Who's getting all of this information that you're just putting out there? Now, as a big-name actor, it's really selfish. And dumb. Thoughtless. And then she publishes a book because she's like, well, now I have all this tea on Arthur Leander, so I'm gonna publish all the letters. And like, it is an awful thing to do, but it's also like kind of a crazy good idea. Yeah. For her.
Right.
Because that's gonna make her a lot of money.
Well, but she's not gonna get to spend it.
Nope. Because by the time it's out, the Georgia flu's here, buddy. And she's probably dead. So.
Right. Yeah, because we never hear about her.
Nope. So that was crazy. And you're right. Yeah, that's why Miranda was there. Crazy interaction. Do you see what we mean? How, like, all these little things connect people?
Well, and Miranda and Jeevan have an interaction from before he... was doing whatever job he was doing when he was in the theater. I think he was an EMT or something.
Well, he was
when he met Miranda, he was a
journalist of some kind. I can't think of exactly.
He was a paparazzi.
Yes, he was a.
And he was staking out Arthur's house.
Yeah,
that's how he met her. Mm-hmm. And then later, when he tries to save Arthur, he's an EMT, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to save Arthur. I can't remember if he's in school, in training for that.
Yeah, he might be in training.
Or if it makes him... I think he is in training, because then when he does try to save Arthur, he's like, I do want to do this. Mm-hmm. Like, it made me realize I want to be somebody who can help other people and save other people.
And then at the end of the book, he's a doctor.
Yes. He's like their best...
He's the only hope.
Yeah.
You've been shot. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what to do about that.
I'm going to do what I can, but...
Yeah. And that woman was shot by, not Tyler, but, like, his cult people.
Yep.
I like a couple weeks ago when you were like, we need to get like that board and have this.
Yes, it could go right here.
Right here. Everyone's connected. Yeah, it's crazy to see how everybody ends up, too. You know, like he wanted to be an EMT. He couldn't really be an EMT, but then he ended up like shadowing. I think someone who actually was a doctor.
Yeah, they actually went to medical school
and ended up then being a doctor.
Yeah. He
like,
trained him, and I think he either died or moved on.
I think he went somewhere else,
and so he only had limited training from the doctor. Mm-hmm. It's the Wild Wild West, you guys.
It really is.
Figure it out.
Yep, it really is. Don't make stupid decisions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing I didn't like about the show, sorry, many things I didn't like about the show. I don't like how they portrayed Kirsten. They portrayed her as like this like baddie spy assassin. Like that was her thing. And like
she didn't like killing people.
No.
She killed 3, I think.
Yeah. And every single time it left like damage on her heart. Like, yeah. She didn't want to do that.
Right.
But, like, they portrayed her as, like that's, like, she's a killer. Mm-hmm. And she's not afraid to do it. And whatever, like, but, like, that's not really how she was.
No.
As a character.
She was, the only reason why those people died was because she was protecting someone. Mm-hmm. Herself or someone else.
Yeah. And, like, that's really the only justifiable way anyway.
Correct.
So.
Correct.
I don't like how they just made her seem like, I don't know.
She was out looking for people to kill.
Yeah, like she was just like this undercover agent kind of thing. Like it's just that kind of vibe. And I'm like, mm-hmm. She's just a normal person trying to live life.
Right. Like, she just wants to make it to the next town, man.
Yeah, like just leave her alone. Like everybody just leave everybody alone. Okay? We're all just trying to live with what we've got now. And yeah. I love when like you get to watch characters get older into their old years. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I started thinking about the Museum of Civilization again, where people they started to hear about what was happening at the airport, so they would bring things. Mm-hmm. Like there's like laptops and. Someone brought a motorcycle, mm-hmm. and somebody else who lived in the airport used to have a motorcycle, so he like would come and look at the motorcycle all the time.
That's so sad. I don't remember that. That's so sad.
I think he would wipe it down and stuff, and like really reminisce. It's so sad.
It is sad.
But like you follow Clark for a long time, mm-hmm. and.
He was probably actually the nicest person in the book.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, not that Kirsten was a bad person, but, like, there's nothing ever bad. Mm-hmm. Like, she was a brat when she was a kid. Whatever. She was a great adult. Mm-hmm. Very well adjusted. But, like, Clark only ever... Maybe if we had seen him as a kid, we would have thought he was a brat, too. But
yeah,
only ever saw him doing good things. Mm-hmm. Like, trying to help people. Even trying to help Miranda on the night of that terrible dinner party.
Oh my gosh.
And he just seemed like a really nice man. Mm-hmm.
And I was getting closer and closer to the end, like when Kirsten and the symphony, Kirsten and August get to the airport before the symphony, but like when they're finally there, and Kirsten and Clark meet. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this better happen fast, because I'm pretty sure they end up meeting, and if they don't meet while they're at this gosh darn airport, I'm going to lose my mind. But he's like, hey, I want to show you something. And she's like, okay. He's like, we're going to go, it's like the air traffic control tower. So we're going to go to this tower. Sorry, there's a lot of stairs. But they climb the stairs, and Kirsten just waits on him because he's older, mm-hmm. and he's climbing, and then he has to take a break, for a while. And Kirsten even, I think it's Kirsten's point of view, but she describes it like she almost fell asleep because at one point he was taking so long to like, okay, let's get back and go. But even that, you can see how well adjusted she became, even though she was like a child of the end of the world. Mm-hmm. She was just being polite to the old man. It's like crazy. And I love that, though, when they get to the top and they see the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff that really gets you. I'm spitting it.
It's okay. Maybe they didn't see that.
Yeah, maybe not. I announced it, so that's good. Oh, but when, the whole time when they get to, I think it is Deborah by the water, but they first get there and they're expecting their friends to be there because they had left them like 2 years prior to have their baby, and they're not there.
Yeah.
And then they find these gravestones that are supposed to be them, and they're like, what? And then you're building up and you're like, okay, when are they going to see each other again? And I love a good, like, reuniting moment. And they always make me cry. Like, every single time. Yes. And they get finally to the airport. And she, sorry, I'm having a moment. And you're in the point of view of somebody who has, like, I don't know if he has a bow and arrow or a gun. But they're patrolling, as you would have to do in this kind of world. But he's with Tyler
like on the loose.
Yeah. So, and he's like holding the gun up, I guess, to them or something. And he's like kind of being jovial about it. Like, we don't really want to hurt you, but we do have to do this, yada, yada. But then she realizes the girl next to him drops her crossbow and like runs. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, it's Charlie. It was just like, oh, thank God they finally got to see each other again. Yeah, I love a good reuniting. I love a good reuniting moment. It really does me in. I'm a big old baby when it comes to them. Any of them. Any kind of reuniting moment.
Ooh, it's 3:30. 3:40.
I know.
We better wrap this up, girly.
There's so much that happens in this book.
There is.
And, like, I didn't even remember, like I knew there was a lot that happened in the book, like, I remember the plot, basically, but, like, actually reading it, it's like, oh my gosh. There's so much that happens in this book. Yeah. Yeah. We gotta end it with a quote.
Okay.
But Make a good one. But I don't know which one to pick.
There's gotta be a good one with Clark and Kirsten. At the end.
I don't want to cry, Becky. There's some parts that I couldn't even like just highlight words like I highlighted here, like I did. I had to put like a bracket because I was like, I'm not gonna just sit here and highlight the entire thing. I'm so hungry. This is so sad. This is the evening they broke into the Mexican restaurant.
CNN.
CBS. This is when all of the news
was going out one by one.
Yes, and they were like saying, "Good night, good luck." And this is we're doing this so we can be with our families. Blah blah blah. Almost everyone who lived west of the Rockies approached the pilot. Most of the people who lived in Asia opted to take the flight, which would still leave an ocean between themselves and their loved ones, but would at least bring them 2,000 miles closer to home. It's so sad. I was here for the end of electricity. That thought sends shivers up Clark's spine. Because could you imagine?
No.
I mean...
People who live off grid are like, I don't know what you're belly aching
about. I know, like, what's your problem? I dream of chocolate chip cookies. Don't torture me. That'd be me. I dream of chocolate chip cookies right now.
The baby won't allow it.
I know. What baby? Am I pregnant? Turn. Okay. See if I can do this without crying. Getting choked up. I don't cry. I just can't finish saying words. On his last morning on Earth, Arthur was tired. He'd laid awake until sunrise and then drifted out of a twilight half-sleep in the late morning. Sluggish and dehydrated, a throbbing headache behind his eyes. Orange juice would have helped. But when he looked in the fridge, there was only a mouthful left at the bottom of the carton. Why hadn't he bought more? He had had insomnia for the past 3 nights, and his exhaustion was such that this was enough to send him spiraling into something not far from fury. The fury contained with difficulty by breathing deeply and counting to 5, soothed by the cold air on his face. He closed the fridge door, made his last breakfast, scrambled eggs, and showered, dressed, combed his hair, left for the theater an hour early so he'd have time to linger with a newspaper over his second-to-last coffee at his favorite coffee place. All of the small details that comprise a morning, a life. And one more thing, sorry. I loved that the only thing that made Arthur likable was that every time he was reminiscing on, like, what was the point of this life that I've created? What was the point of this? I had all these wives, I've got all this money, but, like, why? He ended up wanting nothing more than to just spend time with Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
well, you shouldn't have been a jerk. And
shouldn't have done what you done because
been living over there in Israel.
It's too late now. Because
you could have moved to Israel too.
Yeah. And that's something he decides near the end. Like, he's like, I'm going to sell everything and I'm going to move to Israel. He didn't want anything except his son. Yep. Well, this concludes our 1.5 hour long episode. Becky, you're going to have fun watching.
I may not watch it. I may just put the opening and the closing.
It's only one book, so. Well, this concludes our randomly crazy dive into Station 11. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have read the book and were like, let's see what these goobers have to talk about.
Yes, and if you have, and you agreed with something that we said, or if you disagreed with something that we said, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought about the book.
Yes. If it changed your life, or if you thought it was a bag of baloney. I want to know.
Hopefully you don't think that.
Yeah.
So that's it. And Kindred Spirits, thanks for watching. Leave us a comment. And until next time, stay happily booked.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know. Okay.